Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy VII. In the last part, we reached Cosmo Canyon after exploring the Gold Saucer a bit, and now we're going through the Cave of the Gi dungeon. Notable things you want to do in here, don't bring fire materia, because there's a good amount of enemies that I think absorb fire? I want to say? Also, one of my favorite minor things is how the music just sort of slowly fades away when you climb down.
I like how atmospheric that is.
I think if you climb back up, it fades in. Because you can climb out, climb up and leave if you want to, though. You have to do it like before
for the Fort Condor thing, right?
For the Fort Condor thing, or if you enter that room and you have some last second preparations you want to do. Now, there is a very minor thing that with every single one of these little caves that you don't see me doing, that they each have a rock in them you can break. A lot of them just contain encounters against an enemy Kenny will be going over in a few moments. But first enemy we have here is a Heg. 400 HP, 250 experience points, 20 AP, 240 gil, weak to ice. You can't steal anything from them, but they can drop high potions, and I believe they can both poison you and stop you?
I thought it was slow.
No, they can paralyze you.
Ah.
Otherwise, no real threat. If you get a large enough group with them, Mantra Magic could be recommendable just to get some people some extra kills for their limit breaks, though.
So, I have a question regarding the limit breaks.
Yep.
So, do they have to kill that many enemies at any point, or between, or like when they're trying to get the limit breaks?
At any point. You can theoretically get the level 3... theoretically, it's very unlikely. You can get your first level 3 limit break before you get even your second level 1 limit break, depending on how you go about things.
Huh. Just use Metro Magic all the time.
Yeah, it would take forever, but it's possible. The most I've done with that is I've gotten my second level... my first level 2 limit break before I've gotten even my second level, my second level 1.
Alright, next enemy on this part is a Sneaky Step. 600 HP, 270 XP, 24 AP, 330 gil, no elemental weaknesses. They don't have anything to steal, but they can drop end tentacles, which I believe is Bio 2?
I think? Pretty good, but we also want to manipulate one of them because you can learn the Death Sentence enemy skill from them, which puts, as the name suggests, them under the target under a death sentence. Once that timer is up, they die.
Bio 3.
Bio 3? Ooh, yeah, if you can get some of those, that's pretty good.
Base damage is 2400, so if you can get your hands on those, that's good.
That's pretty good boss killer at this point in the game. Like, that could probably two-shot some of the next couple boss fights. Death Sentence is an enemy skill that I've learned to love a little bit over the years with one particular strategy, but overall, while a lot of enemies are susceptible to it, it's just quicker to kill them through physical attacks and beta and such than through Death Sentence.
Yes. I know exactly what you're talking about, and I love it. It's amazing. And I use it until, like, the very end of the game. Yep.
And now we can put Red on his level 2 limit break, Bloodfang. I'll talk about that in a moment, but one thing I should mention, see this little, like, shiny part on the ground right now? Walk on that. Don't run. It's an oil slick, and you will slide. If you slide to the left, there's a bed of spice that comes out. I think does, like, 300 plus damage?
Does a lot.
Yeah, it does a lot either way. And there we get the added effect material. What that does is, if in the case, like, you put, say, status effect material, like Bio, on your weapon, and put it to that, it has the added effect of that materia. So Bio would be poisoning an enemy. Chocomog, I think, can stop an enemy. So that's another reason I love Chocomog materia.
Wow, you're getting very lucky with encounters.
Yeah, this place is usually really high in encounter rate, but I had a pretty decent run here. I don't know why, but at the same time, I have to go through some stuff anyway coming up ahead. Yeah, the Gi attacked, but apparently they were a pretty large force, but forced them off somehow. Also, I'm just noticing, is that a pool of blood? I've never noticed that before. What? Red water? And now we have these cobwebs, which each of them is an enemy against essentially a mini-boss. This is the Stinger. 2200 HP, 290 experience points, 25 AP, 358 gil. can steal ethers and drop high potions, no elemental weaknesses, but they are susceptible to frog, which makes them a lot more of an easy fight than you would think otherwise. It's probably the easiest way to go about fighting them, because while their HP remains the same,
they're great for limit break farming.
Yeah, I suppose, because they are pretty powerful, honestly. They're probably about as strong as some of the boss fights we've fought in Midgar. But overall, once you frog them, they're not much of a threat. Frog Song takes, I think, a decent chunk of MP, though, so I guess if you're running low, you might want to recommend that. The biggest thing about them is their Sting Bomb attack, which is the reason Kenny says they're good for HP, limit break farming, which I think does 3/4 of your current HP?
Current HP, yes.
Yikes. I don't think it can ever kill, which means I think it's technically gravity-based. But, yeah, you need to watch out for that.
Also, we did see Red's limit break there, Blood Fang. It does... I'm not sure how much damage it does, but I believe he recovers HP and MP proportionate to what he hit with.
I want to say it's 25% of the damage you do. It's not a very powerful limit break, but the reason you'd use it is for the absorption qualities. Level 2 is where Red's limit breaks are going to start taking off, though, because once you get the second level 2 limit break, you start to get really good stuff there.
Yes.
I forget, have we seen... Because we also saw Yuffie's Clear Tranquil there. Have we seen that before?
No. I don't think we have.
Clear Tranquil, in case I haven't brought it up, restores party members by half their maximum HP. It's like one of the only 2 healing ones that aren't used by Aerith.
Alright, next enemy is a Gi Spectre, 450 HP, 260 XP, 20 AP, and 150 gil, weak to fire. Nothing to steal, but you can get a smoke bomb from them if they die. 12% chance, doesn't really do much, it's just basically a get out of jail free card in terms of escaping.
Yeah, they can also use the Death Sentence enemy skill if you didn't get it from the Sneaky Steps. So if you want to get it here, you can. And while they are weak to fire, I still recommend not bringing fire materia into this place just because overall, it's not worth it. Holy is a better way to go about them. And by holy, I mean like cure magic. Gotta hold, I think, right at the very last second there to come over here and get the fairy ring, which I forget what that does. And here we got one last stinger. I added out all the stinger fights even though they're required, basically. As while they're basically boss fights, it's the exact same strategy every time, and it just takes forever.
Yes.
Alright, what you got for us, Bugenhagen? Single warrior went through here attacking one by one. You're keeping information from us, but you're revealing it at a good pace, so I'm assuming we're going to learn fairly shortly. Why is there a demon face? Well, the Gi tribe's ghosts are all here, and that's because of the lead here. Boss time, this is Gi Natak. 5,500 HP, 1,400 experience points, 150 AP, 3,000 gil. Takes normal damage from fire, but their soul fires, I think, do not take any damage from fire. I think they absorb it outright. Will drop a Wiser Staff upon death, but the important thing to note about this guy, weak to Holy, and in the case you have either an Elixir or an X Potion, using it on this guy is instant death. I don't think I do that just because I want to keep things fair.
You want to give Red the revenge he deserves. You don't want to...
Yeah.
Give him an epic boss fight.
Yeah. This fight was a wall for me when I was younger, just because the Soul Fires can possess your party members, and while it doesn't control their attacks, it causes constant damage, essentially like a burn attack from Pokemon. It can be very damaging, especially if you were at the lower levels I was when I was a kid, because I was one of those kids that ran away from almost every random battle in an RPG because I didn't quite understand experience points for some reason. The fact I managed to get this far is kind of impressive. Overall strategy for this fight, let me get the notes back up.
Also, can I just mention that you can absorb using Bloodfang from an undead enemy? That's cool.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, isn't it? Huh. White Wind is also good for this fight, because while it doesn't heal, like, for max, that still will do a decent chunk of the HP pretty early on. This fight, despite it giving me some trouble when I was younger, is overall fairly easy. But I'd say overall, this is probably the last easy boss fight in terms of the damage you do. From here on out, we're going to start seeing the enemy, the boss damage escalate pretty quickly.
Oh, I think of one specific boss in the next big dungeon.
I think I know which one you're talking about, and if it's the one I think you're talking about, we're going to be doing that sooner than you'd think.
Yeah, I figured you would.
Cure 2 is also pretty good for damaging this guy, because, whoo boy, 1200.
Alright, one more climb hazard, he's probably dead.
Yeah, also, I love the look of this weapon. It's basically just a Bowie knife, but like 7 times the size. There we go. Gin attack. Not much of a problem, but if you're not careful, you can do some damage pretty quickly. As you can see, my MP is suffering due to this dungeon. I suppose, by the way, I know I brought up you really shouldn't get the life material in this game because there's just better ways around restoring your characters from death status. But life spell would also take care of him pretty quickly.
Elixir, I don't think a Phoenix Down would work, would it?
I think it does. I think the problem is Phoenix Downs can miss.
Right, yeah.
But be careful if you're using the curative method like Cure 2 or White One, because I think that can heal the Soul Fires. And oh, I love this version of Red's theme.
Yes.
The warrior fought against the Gi, who took the fight to the very end. So was a memorial to him here? Never able to return to town. Guess he died. Oh. It's your dad. Well, not quite a wastrel after all, huh, Red? I love that scene. I love the way this looks.
This scene is gorgeous. And that's why I'm kind of being a little quiet. I really like this scene.
Yeah. 7, I think, was... I think I mentioned this earlier, but even though 6 gave some good efforts at it, as did 5, 7, I think, was the first game to really nail the fairly quiet but emotional scenes. To this day, I understand that Seto and Red's mother made Bugenhagen promise not to tell him, but to this day I still can't quite tell why. I guess the way it could be is that maybe he thought he would want to take revenge on it for some reason. Because this is a pretty important thing not to tell someone.
Yeah. Was it like... Was there... I don't understand the reasoning behind it, yeah. That's the biggest thing.
Because Bogan just says that he promised not to tell. I can see the narrative reason for it because then we get to see this scene happen. But... And while it does change Red, it feels like something that you should have told him. But Bugenhagen is telling Red that he should follow through with his mission to protect the planet like Seto set out to do all those years back. Help us throughout the rest of the game. And since Bugenhagen's way too old to do anything about it, yeah. Man's 130.
What? He must not be human.
No, I think he's human, but he's supposed to be... You know, like the stories of those very spiritual people in like Buddhism reaching extreme ages?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be a case of that. He's so spiritual and in touch with himself that he's managed to just kind of almost go through with willpower. And this is probably the cruelest and darkest part of this scene to me. Seto isn't exactly dead. He's petrified by the Gi's poison arrows. He's still alive under that stone somehow. And he just can never be freed from it. There's no super soft to get him out of this.
Oh.
This was my desktop background for a little bit on my old Windows XP computer.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, this is like one of my favorite aesthetics.
Alright, with that heart-touching scene out of the way. Let's get a move on and kick some butt.
Yeah. Though something that I forget, we're gonna see things happen in a moment, but something that the game doesn't exactly tell you is that we're actually gonna get a weapon that it doesn't tell us about. I forget the name of it right now. I think I'll show it off in a few moments. But it's a really, really good weapon for red. Well, with the scene continues, I'm actually gonna see if I can find that really quickly. They gave you a choice to choose your party member right there, but it doesn't really matter. It doesn't change anything.
I think this is what really gave my attachment to Red, like, as a character, like, Ironclad.
Yeah.
His character is just fantastic. He's a dog. Can't go wrong with dogs.
I mean, you kind of can, but Red's one of the best boys out there.
Yes.
Alright, I think this is where I show it off. What's the name of this thing again? Where are you? Come on. Seraph Comb. That is one of Red's best weapons in the game. It can't be sold. It's technically a key item. But as for what it does, 4 unlinked materia slots...
Are you not doing the Fort Condor thing?
No. The only reason I did that was so that people who wanted to do it could.
Gotcha, I see.
Red's going to be using that weapon for a while now, I think. However, I should note, speaking of Fort Condor, thank you for bringing it up. Because we've completed the Cave of the Gi, another Fort Condor battle has opened up. That one also gives 5 high potions that it says are potions. Oh, well, this town looks pretty interesting. But first I'm going to run around in circles around here, because you can run in battles on the buggy. Because there is 2 interesting enemies I want to run into around here. Namely, that guy right there. You go first.
Alright, so we're going to start off with the Nibel Wolf, 700 HP, 265 XP, 24 AP, 260 gil, no elemental weaknesses. They can drop a Luciole nut, which I don't think we've gone over what nuts do, but I guess we'll go over that when we get there.
Yeah. The notable thing about them is that they can revive defeated Nibel Wolves with their Howling ability. However, if they're defeated again, you get another piece of experience points. However, there's a limit to that. I think they can only use Howling successfully 3 times per battle. The other important thing is the Valron. 950 HP, 300 experience points, 30 AP, 300 gil, no elemental weaknesses, has nothing to steal, but they can drop a high potion. The important thing about them is that if you manipulate them, you gain access to an ability they can only get through manipulate, which is known as Dive Kick. A gravity-based attack that is really good for grinding up limit breaks. Between the Dive Kick here, which is good for getting the use limit break X amount of times here to get the 2nd level, and the area near Corel, where you can run into a lot of enemies really quickly, this part of the continent is the best place in the game to farm up limit breaks. In fact, I think sometime relatively soon, I do that for Aerith in particular. Just because I like getting her level 4 limit break as soon as I can, and that requires getting the other 3 levels mastered. And Tifa gets Meteor Drive. Nice. Let me get that up. Meteor Drive. Does 158, 1 5/8 times down. Wait a minute.
Oh.
This isn't right. Nibelheim's supposed to be gone.
Did they rebuild? Did they rebuild really fast? Maybe?
But the only people that were supposed to have survived are us and Tifa. Maybe Johnny as well, depending on if you're playing the correct translation. Yeah, this is even said Nibelheim in. What's going on? Person, what? Hello, what's your story? Yeah, what's going on? Yeah, that can't be right. We don't know you. Something's not right here. There's also men in black capes with tattoos on them. There's a couple of these throughout the town. If you talk to them, you can actually get some items from them, namely various source types. Tattoo number 6. We've seen number tattoos a lot throughout this game, haven't we?
Quite.
I guess let's check out the other buildings. Hello. Oh, there's the store.
Oh, bad stuff.
For some reason, I always feel like you can talk to that person and get a store from them, but I don't think you can. Tattoo number 12. No, the highest we've seen is 13, but that's on red, and he's clearly fine.
The voice of Sephiroth.
Huh. Guess Sephiroth has a little cult, maybe? Yeah, we were born here.
This whole part confused the crap out of me, and still does, honestly.
I find this less confusing nowadays, but I do find it still very creepy. Because imagine being Tifa and Cloud right now. Your home, which was supposed to have been lost, burned down, everyone you knew dead. And there's just a ghost town version of it with people you do not know that don't know you. It's almost, and I know that's not how the game ends up going. It's almost like the first Professor Layton, in a way.
Ugh.
Number 5.
You don't get an item from all of them, do you?
No, but you do get items. Ooh, turbo weather. Yeah, that's worth it. You get good enough items from most of them. Let's see what's going on in Tifa's room.
Oh, this room.
Alright, let's see what's going on. I've got a letter here. Professor Hojo! No clones have left the town this quarter. Clones sensing something about Sephiroth. 8 people have visited the town. No one knows about the incident. Oh. This is a Shinra cover-up. Yeah, I guess that would make sense. An entire town disappearing basically overnight. They would need to replace that. Though, in a way, it also is... Ooh, Platinum Fist. That's a decent weapon for Tifa. In a way, what does Nibelheim do for the world overall that would be worth covering it up? Because I don't think there's any notable exports. There is, I guess, the Shimmer Mansion, which could be a tourist destination?
Well, I mean, there was the...
Yeah, the Mako reactor is about it.
Reactor,
and I guess, theoretically, in terms of game structure, you need to come through here to get to the next town. So I guess if you're trying to get to the next town, you would have to pass through here. Oh, man, even Tiny One's kids, maybe? Reunion. I find this particularly creepy because I didn't show off this room during the flashback, but if you go into that room there, you find some kids, an older one and a younger one, and the younger one mimics the older one, and that kid was doing that exact same thing.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's creepy.
That's really messed up.
Now, I forget if I could do anything about it now, but you might remember I mentioned during the Nibelheim flashback that because I didn't technically jam on the piano, I can't get an elemental material later on. It may also have be able to do here, but I'm not entirely certain about that. And we're back here after all this time. Alright, now at this point, I think I did some...
This is like one of my favorite places in the game, honestly, not kidding.
I love the atmosphere. I love the atmosphere here, but at the same time, a lot of stuff went on here. Alright, so minor setup change here. I have enemy skill, both the enemy skill and areas on one person just to make getting a certain enemy skill in relatively short term much more easy on me. And this is what my setup's looking like right now. Because you do want to have a fairly specific setup for stuff coming up. I must get rid of all those sent my way, even from that one from the Turks. I scientifically altered him and put him to sleep in the basement. If you want to find him, here are the clues. Merely a game I thought of, not necessary for you to participate, so on and so forth. Let's read on. Turn the dial on the safe carefully. You have 20 seconds, and we need to find the 4 numbers for the combination. Alright, lid of the box of most oxygen. Ivory short and sweet. Creaking the floor near the chair on the 2nd floor. Then left this mount, blah blah blah. And a hidden one. 4th row has been lit in invisible ink. Dial 4 is right 97. We have a bit of a side quest going on in the Shinra Mansion this time around, where we need to find a safe combination. And this requires going up, down, and everywhere throughout the area. Twin Viper, I think that's a weapon for Tifa? No, that might be for someone else, actually.
Twin Viper, it's for someone.
So we do have random encounters in this place now, including...
These buggers. This is called a dorky face, which I guess you couldn't tell. They've got funny breath and funny faces. 520 HP, 300 XP, 35 AP, 202 gil, no elemental weaknesses. Drop Phoenix Downs, you can steal echo screens, but they cause confusion.
And confusion in this game is deadly at this point, because especially if you queue up an attack before getting confused, it will the characters will still use it. And I have had several cases because of that, where, say I have someone with enemy skill use beta. My party gets baited. And that's not good. If we check over here, something's around the floor. Left 10. So that's the next combination. Also, that piano there is partially so you can remember the notes in the case you didn't do that during the sequence, during the flashback sequence. That comes more into play for something towards disc 2, I want to say? Maybe disc 3?
I'd say just 2.
Silver M phone. 8 slots that are unlinked, but if you want to get some materia, I guess you could use it like that.
Again, you're getting really lucky with encounters. What the heck?
Yeah, this is a surprisingly low encounter rate time for me during the LP. Magic source, not too bad, but there is a chair here, so if we check around here, right, 59 is the third digit. 1 to go, and that's in a fairly short span. We'll be heading downstairs later, because for right now I want to focus on the side quest we can do here. Check this chest. Enemy launcher, that is, I think, a weapon for Barrett. But if we check the chest again, right on the lid is the next digit. And now if we head up here, here's the safe they mentioned. I just took that little pause to de-equip the second enemy skill materia and replace it. Now we have 20 seconds to put in the combination we've gotten thus far. If you mess up or go past the digit, you might as well just wait for the time to reset, because you're probably not going to make it at that point. But if you make it, the chest opens and materia shoots out, but we also get into a boss fight! And one of the hardest boss fights in the game if you do it at this point. This is the Lost Number. 7,000 HP, 2,000 experience points, 80 AP, 2,000 gil. Upon defeat, we'll drop a very interesting item. We'll go over that when the time comes. However, the notable thing about this fight is that it has 2 halves, a red and a purple. One is physical based, the other magic. I want to say it's red's physical, purple's magic.
Yes.
And the interesting thing is, when the boss's HP reduces to below half, the Lost Number will change completely to one of those 2 colors. If the damage was inflicted magically, it'll turn completely physical. And if it's inflicted physically, it will turn purple. The thing is about that is, it'll also increase in stats in one direction. If it turns completely red, its magic and magic defense stats will increase. If it turns purple, attack and defense. Actually, no, we had it reversed. Red is magic. Whoops.
Red. Oh, right. Red's magic because it uses fire.
Yeah. And the thing is about that is, especially when the thing turns completely one-sided, the damage that it does increases so hard on either side that this fight can be pretty deadly if you don't have things like Mighty Guard to start off. However, a notable break around it, if you inflict poison on it through items or bio, and you just let the poison take care of the rest of its HP, you don't have much to worry about at that point, because it won't swap over unless a physical or magical attack is done. Paralysis through things like cross slash is also very useful here. Overall strategy though, big guard off the bat, then go all out with things like Chocomog and Aqualung, since the physical half I find is overall easier to deal with than the magic half, because...
Oh, ouch.
Yeah, because...
That's with big guard.
Yeah. I unfortunately didn't do it right, so I got to fight the magic half instead of the physical half. But since the magic half has more multi-target attacks, it's a scarier fight to deal with at this point. This is a fight that I, similarly to getting beta from the Midgar Zolom, recommend saving for later if you're new to the game. I'd say maybe early disc 2. Because at that point you're just better equipped and better stats, and it's just going to be an easier time for you in the long run. I'm confident enough in my abilities that I can do this, but use your best judgment, essentially.
Yeah. First time I actually did this fight... Oh my goodness.
Oh, Twin Viper is a weapon for Yuffie. That's what it is.
Oh. Yeah, first time I actually did this fight super early, it actually went pretty smoothly. So I must be getting decent at the game.
Decent luck. You're just good at RPGs to begin with, so there's that too.
That's true.
Also, I brought in Catch Chief for this area just because I never use him without the game anyway, so I might as well give him a shot to shine. And for beating that, we get the Cosmo Memory. That is Red's level 4 limit break. Level 4 limit breaks are a bit different than the other ones, in that you can only get them, first off, when you've mastered all 6 of the prior limit breaks and you have access to them, but they also come in items where you have to use them in order to access them. We also get the Odin materia, which isn't as important. But with that, we're going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 15, we're going to be exploring the rest of the Shinra Mansion, and then exploring beyond this area to see what lies beyond Nibelheim. See you guys.
See you guys then.